MrBeast's villain arc is finally complete. Because MrBeast has teamed up with KSI and Logan Paul to turn our school children gay. Preposterous, you might say. Well, I can prove it. In a previous episode of the Sewer News Network, we determined that Prime is a bioweapon engineered in the Wuhan laboratory to turn boys into gay boys. So now MrBeast has teamed up with the partners in Prime to get Prime into school lunches in their new product called Lunchly, a ripoff of Lunchables. Check out their announcement tweet. But first, we gotta address Logan Paul's Twitter bio. Artist? Artist. The first word in your bio is artist. This is proof that you can identify as whatever you want. I honestly find this more egregious than a man identifying as a woman, like MrBeast's Predator employee. Logan Paul identifying as an artist is far more ridiculous. Wait, maybe he meant con artist. Logan, let me rewrite your bio for you real quick. Logan Bald, retard, mongoloid, scammer. There, fixed it for you. Now let's check out this video they launched their new product with.
Lunchly versus Lunchables.
With Lunchly, you get double the amount of liquid.
A selling point is you get more liquid? That would only be a positive if that liquid is better than the other liquid. What if the liquid is worse? What if the liquid is a bioweapon? What if the liquid is full of artificial sweeteners? What if that liquid is the subject of current lawsuits? Is it good to have more of it?
No sugar added, more electrolytes, and more B vitamins.
Okay. No sugar added. Now, they say this as a selling point, right? No sugar added to their beverage. But how is it that they cannot add sugar? Well, they make up for the sweetness with artificial sweeteners. So when you're giving this to children, is that a positive? Is it a positive that yours has artificial sweeteners and the other drink, which is Capri Sun, does not? And on what planet is Prime a better beverage than Capri Sun? Capri Sun is gangster. If you see me out on them streets above, walking around, sipping a Capri Sun, you know it's about to pop off. Take cover and bust out your cell phone camera. And another thing KSI says here.
More electrolytes and more.
More electrolytes. I'm sorry, what does that matter? Is this for NBA athletes? Or is this a school lunch for kindergartners? How is that a selling point? What does that have to do with anything? Are our school children depleting their electrolytes? What's a typical schedule for a kindergartner? The first hour is in the library for drag queen story hour? Does that deplete electrolytes? Well, I guess if it went the way the drag queens wanted to, those kids would need electrolytes and a lifetime of therapy. Luckily, that's not the case yet. So electrolytes, not a selling point. Less sugar, not a selling point because you're making up for it with artificial sweetener. So far, this is a complete fail. So far, Lunchables destroying their new Lunchly. Let's go on.
Crunch Bar. Whoa. Feastables Crunch Bar.
What argument are they making for that being better? First of all, Crunch Bar destroys whatever gay garbage MrBeast's cash grab Feastables chocolate is. This is my problem, guys. It's not them selling a product. If people didn't launch new products, if people didn't offer products to the market, we would just be sitting around in mud huts. All of this is products. This monitor, this keyboard, the microphone, glasses, these are all products. We need products. We need people selling products. We need people making new products. What bothers me is these comments saying, oh my God, I've been so obsessed with children's boxed lunches for 20 years. I wanted to make a healthier for you option. No, it's a cynical cash grab. Like, not to ever say anything good about the Kardashians. But remember when the youngest daughter of the Kardashians, what was her name? Like Caitlyn Jenner or something? She launched a makeup line on Instagram and became a billionaire overnight. Like, she was the first influencer to do this. But that actually made sense. That was actually consistent with her ethos. being a heavily caked up girl. Like, she was really good at makeup. People followed her. And she's like, hey, here's my makeup line. Logan Paul making a box lunch for kindergartners it has nothing to do with him, other than trying to cash out on unsuspecting children. Same with MrBeast Burger. What the hell does he have to do with burgers? You know what wasn't a cynical cash grab was Nina Drama. She has a burger. She has a Nina Drama burger at some restaurant you've never heard of. That actually is in line with what she's passionate about, is eating. That's why she's so fat. So that makes sense. That is not cynical. This is cynical. Again, not against people promoting products, bringing new products to market. But when it's just a cynical cash grab taking advantage of children, it pisses me off. You know? Like listen, UFC legend, Khabib Nurmagomedov, if he comes out with a line of condoms specifically designed for the buttholes of goats, that totally makes sense. Because his passion is shoving his dingus into the bungus of goats. That makes sense. That's not a cynical cash grab. And it's not aimed at children either. Conor McGregor, raging alcoholic Conor McGregor, it makes sense that he launched a booze line. You don't think twice about that. It makes sense. Right? If Ian Gary's wife comes out with a line of strap-ons, that makes sense. If I came out with a line of sunglasses, you wouldn't think twice. You would be both appalled and disturbed if you saw how many sunglasses I own. I have multiple storage containers of sunglasses. Unfortunately not here. I had to leave them back in Canada before I escaped that fallen country. Same thing with watches. I got a different watch in every video. You wouldn't bat an eye if I released a watch line. It makes sense. I have as many watches as I have sunglasses. It's sick. It's unhealthy. But it is what it is. Again, unfortunately, most of those are back in Canada. I boxed up all my cool stuff, dropped them off at my mom's house, and escaped to greener sewer passages. Dude, I tell you, if somebody breaks into my mom's house, that guy is walking out of there looking like Liberace. That's a reference that none of you got. Dude, if somebody breaks into my mom's house, they are walking out dripping. My mom would call the police. The cops would say, how would you describe them? He's dripping everywhere. Oh, I have to pull out the hand of truth to point out this retard's face. Zoom in on that. Pause right there. Look at this retard's face and this retard's face.
30 less calories, 3 less grams of fat, and 8 less grams of sugar.
Hold up. Hold up. They're trying to make less calories be a selling point. This is not a diet product for children. Lunchables is not a diet product for children. Children need calories. Less calories is not a selling point. It's a knock against your product. Kids don't need less calories. They need better calories. You might say, oh, but there's a childhood obesity epidemic. It's not the calories. It's the poison they're eating. It's the lack of activity for sitting on iPads all day long. You don't want kids having less calories unless you want to have short children. You want them to have better calories. Do you think they were cutting calories back in the 50s when kids were downing butter and potatoes and beef and then having pie for dessert? No, and those kids weren't fat. The problem is the calories kids are consuming nowadays have so many poisonous seed oils, canola oil, soybean oil. These things destroy your thyroid. You don't want less calories. Imagine there's two moms making lunches for their kids and they both make a peanut butter sandwich. Identical. One cuts it in half and only gives the kid half. Is she the better mom? Is she the better mom? My lunch has 150 less calories. Those kids are in school. One kid pulls out a half sandwich. They're calling CPS. Lower calories is not the answer. Better calories and more activity is. But would you expect these retards to know that? Or care? They're just preying on stupidity of children because they don't know better. Whatever these guys say goes. Mom, did you know Lunchley has less calories? Please buy that one for me. That's how this goes. Kids are watching it, getting brainwashed. Oh my God, it has less sugar, mommy. Buy this one for me. And then she's like, oh God, Billy is so annoying. Yeah, shut up. I'll buy it next time at Walmart. That's how this goes. They convince the children with points that don't even make sense. and then the children convince the parents to buy it. Children don't know any better. They don't know what they need nutritionally. They don't know what gender they are. They can't make educated decisions. They're preying on children not knowing better. And this is my problem with Lunchly. This is my problem with Prime. Not that they're selling something, not that they're trying to make money, but they're preying on children who don't know any better. And not only that, giving them something unhealthier. And before you try to sue me, you little bitch, Logan Paul, you cannot tell me that artificial sweetener is better for kids than a Capri Sun. But oh my God, sugar is bad. Listen, I know some of you are in a keto cult and you're losing your minds in the comments. It's better to give children aspartame than for them to have sugar. No, it's not, asshole. Listen, when I was a kid, the only breakfast I ever remember having before school, the only one I ever remember, was a bowl of cornflakes with milk and then a tablespoon of white sugar on top. That was my standard breakfast. I was never fat. I never have been fat. None of the kids in my class were fat, and there was no war on sugar back then. But back then, we didn't have all these seed oils and everything. We weren't being stuffed full of soy isolates and soybean oil.
Stack them. 310 calories.
230 calories.
Not a selling point. Not a selling point. Not a selling point. Unless you want your children to have stunted growth. And also, the difference in calories, since these both have a drink, this has Prime, this has Capri Sun, the difference in calories is largely going to be from the fact that this one is cutting down on calories by having artificial sweetener. That's a hell of a trade-off. Hey, you have less calories to grow with, plus you've been pumped full of carcinogens.
21 grams of sugar.
Only 7 grams of sugar.
Not going to repeat myself. Let's go on.
Look at this close-up. You can already tell which one has better.
You can tell it has better ingredients by the fact that this looks like it came out of a factory. Like these all look exactly identical. Now, obviously this one also came out of a factory, but I mean, the fact that these look like a movie prop is not a selling point if you want your kids eating real food. Like these are all identical. Just a conveyor belt going donk, 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 cutting out perfect shapes of non-foods. This is not how real food works. When you make a meal from scratch, it doesn't turn out all perfect like this. So how is this proof that it has better ingredients? I would argue that this means it's worse. Absolutely processed, manufactured with very high tolerances to have everything look identical like that.
Ingredients. All right, we'll start off with the Lunchables.
Bro, I'm sorry, that's trash. All right, now
Oh, what a bunch of cringe losers. I swear to God. Oh, I swear to God, what a bunch of cringe losers. Oh, well, they're billionaires and you're not, so doesn't that make you the loser? Shut up. Listen, billionaires can be losers. Look at Bill Gates. He's trying to kill everybody. And so are these assholes. But here's the thing. So Logan didn't even let it touch his taste receptors before he spat it out and said disgusting. Watch this. Watch it again.
We'll start off with the Lunchables.
bro, I'm sorry, that's trash.
Immediately spat it out. Immediately spat it out. Now, these guys, all being mouth-breathing retards, don't understand that there are regulations for advertising. They don't understand that there's an FDA. They don't understand there are regulations when it comes to discussing your competitors in advertisements. Have you ever seen a Pepsi ad that somebody drinks Coke and vomits? Oh, disgusting. You can't do that. You can't do that. This isn't Haiti. We're not in the Wild West. I mean, we're slowly becoming Haiti, but that's another video entirely. Lunchables, if you're watching this, and I know you aren't because nobody watches my videos, sue these guys into oblivion. You cannot do this. This is against the laws of advertising. Oh, disgusting. I'm sorry, but that's gross. Now, do their 4-year-old fans believe this? Yeah, of course. Again, preying on children. This is how an adult reacts to this nonsense, to this theatrics. But seriously, how does Lunchables not sue these guys? Just sue them. And don't feel bad about it. Logan Paul sues literally everybody. Dude, he's suing you right now. Check your email. You got an email from his lawyer for watching my videos, making fun of him. So right there, what a bunch of absolute clowns. Just spit it out before they even tasted it.
Come on. We're not biased at all.
We're not biased at all. Like, how's that not a lawsuit? You're not biased? You're one of the owners of this new company. You're not biased? But ours is way better. You don't hate these people enough. You do not hate these people enough.
Not biased at all, but ours is way better.
Fiesta nachos. 22 grams of sugar.
10 grams of sugar.
Again, why? Why? Because Prime has artificial sweetener, Capri Sun does not. That's the difference in the sugar, okay? I'd rather a kid have 12 more grams of sugar than for them to have sucralose, okay? Now, ideally, it would be neither. Ideally, they would get naturally occurring sugars from a piece of fruit. But I'm saying they're comparing two things here. These are the only two options. There isn't an orange as a third option. Between these two, I would give a child 12 more grams of sugar in their fruit juice instead of artificial sweetener.
Come in close and look at the queso cheese and lunchly versus whatever that is. Drip versus...
Okay, tell me how you feel about this, but the cheese actually looks better in the Lunchables. Like, what is this disgusting gap? It looks like a bungus leaking out yeast infections. That does not look better.
Lunchly versus whatever that is.
And they're talking like their cheese is the Mona Lisa and whatever that is. Guys, tell me if you can see much of a difference. They both just look like liquid cheeses.
Queso cheese and lunchly versus whatever that is. Drip versus stick. I like my cheese drippy, bruh. This is a lunchly sauce?
Okay, bruh. God, I wanna smash his head in just the way he said bruh. And stop saying bro. Young guys out there, stop saying bro. Don't start sentences with bro. Don't end them with bro. Don't say bruv. Don't say bruh. You sound stupid. Say dude. Dude is cool. Bruh's retarded. But look at this. Like, he's just lying. Like, he'll say whatever it is about his product. Like, what I mean is whatever differences between the products are, he'll say his is better. So for example, if there was mold, he opened up his and there was mold on his, he'd be like, theirs doesn't have any mold, ours does. Sick, lit. And the kids would believe it. So what I mean by that is, look at this. He's comparing the cheeses, right? So their cheese is over here on the left. Watch this.
Drip versus stick. I like my cheese drippy, bruh. This...
Okay, bruh. So his cheese is dripping. The cheese from Lunchly, look, is dripping. It's falling off. Whereas the nacho cheese from the Lunchable has a better consistency and it stays on the nacho. Now, you tell me. You're at a Super Bowl party. There's a cheese dip. You dip your cracker, your chip, your nacho in there, and it's just dripping. Do you like your cheese drippy, bruh? Do you like your cheese drippy, bruh? Do you like your cheese drippy? All over your clothes, bruh? At your Super Bowl? This is how mad I'm getting. I can't talk. I'm so angry. I hate these people. I hate them. And I hate our society. I hate the timeline we're in. How are these guys not cleaning toilets for a living? You realize the combined net worth of these three mouth-breathing retard con men is in the billions, even with Prime sales down. If you add Logan and KSI's net worth, that's $1 billion. MrBeast, he's worth $1 billion. He was offered $1 billion plus for his entire empire. He turned it down. So we got $2 billion minimum of net worth over here by three mouth-breathing idiots who are lying to children, trying to get them to buy something that is going to harm their bodies. I'm not talking about they're trying to trick them into buying a video game or trying to trick them into buying an action figure. This is ingestible, consumable. This goes in their bodies. And just complete liars to say you prefer your cheese to be drippy, bro. You don't. And I'm telling you, he didn't know his cheese was going to be drippy until he did this test. If his had a better, thicker consistency, he would have been like, oh, Lunchables is drippy. Disgusting. Ugh. Con artist. That's the bio, not artist. And again, this is for small school children, not even teenagers, right? This is elementary school stuff. So if you've ever been around kids, you know this drippy cheese is going all over their clothes. It's on their pants, it's on their shirt, it's on their chin, and they never wipe their faces. So no, drippy cheese is a net negative.
Drip versus stick. I like my cheese drippy, bruh. This is a Lunchly salsa right here. Look at the consistency, the texture. And this is Lunchables. This, look, it's watery.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, that is exactly what I said. That if his product is a thicker consistency, that's better. If his is drippy, that's better. He tried the salsa, and the salsa was thick in his, and it was watery in the Lunchables, so that's bad. But a second ago, drippy was better. Right, asshole? So this played out. This couldn't have played out more perfect. I said that if his cheese was thick, he would have said drippy cheese is bad. And then he goes to the salsa, and it's the reverse. His salsa was thicker, and Lunchables is drippier, and that's bad. All of a sudden, drippy's bad, but drippy was good a second ago. He's trying to make it look like it's so watery and drippy that it poured out of the container itself. That's not what's happening. He's using the nacho. All right?
Lunchly salsa right here. Look at the consistency, the texture. And this is Lunchables. This, look, it's watery. It's, I can't even.
That doesn't look watery either. That doesn't look watery. That doesn't look any less thick. He's just scooping it out with the nacho. What an ass. I can't even look at that. Oh my, I can't look at this salsa. Guys, I know you've done this when you go to a dinner party and they bring out some appetizer and there's some chips and sauce. I can't look at that salsa. I can't look at it. It's too watery. I can't look at it. Get that out of my face. I hope to God that cheese is drippy, bruh. Somebody stop planet Earth for a second. I need to get off. I need to get off of this spinning hellhole. What has happened to society? Oh my God. Guys, we're done. We're done. There's no saving this. There's no saving this.
Look at that. With 400 milligrams of electrolytes, my God!
And it's available.
Oh God, what a cringy loser. Like, what does that even mean, 400 milligrams of electrolytes when we're talking about kindergartners? And the scientific explanation of the benefits of that is screaming, oh my God. Watch that again.
400 milligrams of electrolytes, my God!
And it's available for around $4. Super affordable. Go give it a try.
What? Oh God, oh God. What a bunch of out of touch, rich, narcissistic scumbags. They said that $4 for this tiny lunch is super affordable. Super affordable. And it's so cheap that Logan is losing his mind. Right? He's losing his mind when he finds out it's $4. Watch this.
And it's available for around $4. Super affordable. Go give it a try.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Thanks, KSI. Oh my God, it's $4. Guys, I looked up the prices of a Lunchables. It's 3 something. So they're losing their minds like, oh my God, we came out with not only a healthier product, but cheaper too. No, it's worse for you and more expensive. It's worse for you and more expensive. Let me cut this 1 minute and 9 second promo down. Make it much more concise too. Guys, Lunchly is worse for you and more expensive. Like if you want an honest promo, that's what it is. It's worse for you and more expensive. Sue me. Sue me, you bitch. Sue me. I have nothing. I have nothing. Come take my last pair of shoes. Unreal. So out of touch that they think $4 for your kindergartner's lunch every day is super affordable. Not affordable. Even if he said affordable, I would think that's ridiculous. Super affordable. Like it's free. Most people don't have 1 kid also, by the way. Minimum 2. Minimum 2 in school. So now you're paying $8 a day for lunch? Do you guys think that's cheap? Do you think that's cheap for the average American? Being crushed by inflation, being crushed by rent prices, real estate prices, gas prices. Do you think $8 a day for their kids' lunch is affordable? How much does it cost to make a sandwich? A peanut butter sandwich is healthier than this crap. I'm not saying it's ideal. I'm saying it's healthier than this crap. When you set aside the promoting unhealthy things to children, one of the things that bugs me so much is just these cynical cash grabs from these three assholes. And they do it more than anybody. I can't think of any other YouTuber influencer that has done more cynical cash grabs. Like MrBeast Burger? What was that? They didn't have MrBeast restaurants around the country making them to a particular standard. He had ghost kitchens. So you would order it on an app. You would order it through Uber Eats or whatever. I want a MrBeast burger for like $20. And is a MrBeast restaurant making it? If you guys were unaware of this scam, this is what happened. You would order your MrBeast burger through Skip the Dishes or whatever. The order would go to a ghost kitchen in town that made the burger. If you don't know what a ghost kitchen is, it's any goddamn restaurant, any hole in the wall that's signed up to make MrBeast burger. So you would have some Pakistani restaurant in the back, on the side, next to the butter chicken. They get an order in for MrBeast burger and they go, okay, that's a hamburger bun, 2 patties, a lettuce. And they would just put this burger together. Delivery driver would pick it up, take it to you. Here's your $20 burger made by Bhupinder Singh. And this is a MrBeast burger. And if you're in the town next over, it's the spaghetti restaurant. The spaghetti restaurant is making your MrBeast burger with completely different patty because there's no quality standards, right? Bhupinder's finger was up his curry dispensing ass 2 seconds ago, and now he's making your MrBeast burger. So next town over, the spaghetti restaurant is making it. Next town over, that dive bar with the kitchen in the back, they're making the MrBeast burger. And they're not all sent out the same patties. They're just pulling out some frozen burger patty, pulling out whichever hamburger bun they had that day. So everybody across the country, UK, wherever this garbage was being pushed out, got a completely different burger, made by completely different establishments. So that was his cynical money grab. And then he did the cynical Feastables chocolate bar money grab, which again, I don't know how he didn't get sued into oblivion for the lies. He said it was infinitely healthier than a Hershey's bar. Look it up. There are clips of him saying it's infinitely healthier. Not healthier, infinitely. Guys, there's a Food and Drug Administration that regulates advertising of consumable products, food, supplements, medicine. You can't say it's infinitely healthier. Because guess what? It's not. Nothing can be infinitely healthier. A hamburger cannot be infinitely healthier than a chocolate bar. I don't know how you would even determine what percentage it is, unless you follow people across their lives. And one ate, you'd have to follow twins across their lives. Feed one hamburgers all day long for the rest of his life. One chocolate bars from birth. And then look at their health markers. Who died sooner? Who had higher cholesterol? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, hamburgers are 15% healthier than chocolate bars. 25%, 300% healthier. How do you say something is infinitely healthier? And yet he got away with it. It's amazing how Logan Paul is constantly suing people over stuff that he has no right to be suing people over. But when these guys do stuff that is legitimately against advertising practices, it's legitimately against the law, they don't get sued. It's amazing. Hershey's should have sued MrBeast. Gatorade should have sued Logan Paul for saying they made a healthier for you rehydration drink when he didn't. Deodorant companies should sue Jake Paul's W for saying he made a healthier for you antiperspirant when, guess what? It still has aluminum in it. Aluminum. Is that how you guys in the UK say it? Aluminium? Adamantium? Anyways, that's the #1 worst ingredient in antiperspirants that people try to avoid when they want a healthy antiperspirant. And yet he still had it and had the audacity to say, oh my God, it's so much healthier. And the other thing these assholes do is they pretend to have been passionate about that industry before launching it. I broke that down in my Jake Paul video about W. Oh my God, since I was a teenager, oh my God, I always looked in the deodorant space. So now that I have a chance to do this, I spent years coming up with a better... Dude, you stink. I can tell you have BO by your face. You're not passionate about deodorant. Logan Paul pretends to be passionate about rehydration drinks. MrBeast pretends to be passionate about making healthy chocolate bars. Anyways, I made a video about how evil KSI is. Please watch that right here.